Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Friday, March 2nd. We're in the heat of college basketball conference tournaments. When it's this time of year, Friday is not a down day, Jim. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are not down days. It's all intense every day of the week.
Feels good.
Feels good. Jim, how are you feeling so far? Some games have come in. How are you? What are you, 2-1 already on college basketball?
2-1 in college basketball.
Okay.
Yes, hit the first half in the full game with whiskey.
Okay.
And then lost with Chicago.
Nice job. I'm realizing that I definitely made mistakes taking those first half overs in the Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Citadel games, but that's okay. I have other picks that I'm definitely liking, and of course I did. I might hit the Detroit game over anyway, but I did take the fucking line moves, and we were talking about the Detroit and Green Bay game, right? And I said, did you tweet out a pick on any of those, or no, you didn't? Yeah, I said I thought Green Bay should have a big edge, right? The line went from -1.5 to -4 to -1.5 in favor of Detroit, and then right now with 6 minutes left in the first half, Green Bay's up by 18.
Yeah, it's difficult to figure out these line moves. And this is a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
It's one of our best guys, guy we love. It's Dave L.A.'s birthday today. Want to give you a shout out, Dave L.A., man.
Yes.
We love having you in our chat.
Happy birthday, Dave L.A. Thank you so much for everything that you've done for us. What's your first comment there? I just want to make sure I didn't.
My first
Happy
comment
Friday?
is
okay,
Happy
good,
Friday.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's. Here we go. Scotty Rock Forever says, "Yeah, buddy, my day is now complete. The show is on and cracking. Thank you so much, Scotty Rock Forever." Yeah, I feel like I'm off to a good start too because the line. Look, the line moves in college basketball totals. Be very, very, very careful, Jim,
Yes.
and be scared. You know what I'm saying? I mean, fear is not. You want to overcome your fear in life, but always be scared of line moves in college basketball totals. When it comes to NBA totals. NBA totals.
Okay.
When it comes to college basketball sides, though, don't be scared. Don't be scared of that shit. Bet against it. I did it with Kentucky. I did it with Wisconsin, Green Bay, and it was fine.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the line move scared me so much I didn't make a play on the game.
Yes. All right. So I did make a play on it, Jim. I hit it, and I hit it. I didn't give it as a pick first half, but I bet it first half. How's that for balls, Jim? How's that for balls, Jim?
It's a ball party, man.
Yeah. It's gonna be a balls party this summer on the Loshak in the Bag show. It's not just going to be the summer of balls. It's going to be a veritable balls party. All right, Jimmy the Bag. And you've kicked things off today. We'll get into the hockey segment, but for anyone who missed the morning show, Jim had some balls in the morning show. Ottawa over Vegas. I don't mean to be a spoiler here, but that was one of Jim's picks. Rangers plus 177 money line. Another one of Jim's picks, right, Jim?
That's right.
All right. So let's get into the college basketball card here. Yeah, Citadel looks like they were running away with it. God, I wish I had just given the Green Bay on the first half as a pick as well, which I did bet, and then I would have a winner there. All right, I guess let's start with the 6:30 game, Penn State and Ohio State in the morning show. I did give Ohio State first half and full game on that one. I gave him a first half -2 and full game. I pussied out a little bit, took the money line at -185, but got a good line. Did you look at that game, Jim? Let's quickly start with that one.
I did, and I should have done it in the morning. Ace Farmer saying the whole world on Ohio State. Damn.
Okay.
I just wish I had made it in the morning show. I had to send it in with my local. I got a terrible line, and I almost didn't send it in.
Oh, don't tell me you got 5.5, Jim.
Yeah.
Oh, Jim. Line shopping. It's so important to get the best number, Jim.
Well, I'll get a good number here.
You know what I'm saying? You know what Billy Walters would say to you right now? He would say, "You already lost. You already lost." It doesn't matter if you cash.
I would say, Billy, it's a balls party, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Get them balls out, Billy.
There you go. All right. Yeah, it takes balls to take a shitty line on all your picks. Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
Well, I came so close to not sending it in, man. But I sent it in. So give me a better line.
All right,
than
the best line.
5.5.
It is a split line, 5 or 5.5. Of course, we're using SBR odds here to find the best lines here. And if you have outs at all these books, you can read at sportsbookreview.com what all these books are, and you can use SBRodds.com to line shop. And if you happen to have the Greek, you could get -5, -105 right now for Ohio State, and that's the line we're going to give you. -5, -105. So that's not a great sign. The Greek does appear to be leaning towards Penn State at the current line, but I think it's okay.
Well, let's break it down. 7th-seeded Nittany Lions beat the Buckeyes 82-79 on January 25th. It was a big upset. It was Ohio State's lone home conference loss of the season. And then they destroyed them 79-56 on February 15th in Happy Valley. In those two games, Big Ten leading scorer Tony Carr scored a combined 58 points. Penn State advanced to the quarterfinals with a 65-57 victory over Northwestern last night, behind 25 points from who else but Tony Carr. They hit 13 threes in that game. It was an impressive win after losing 6'9", 254-pound Mike Watkins indefinitely to a knee injury. In the two games against Ohio State this year, Watkins went for a combined 18 points, 16 boards, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Not having him in the lineup means that one of 6'7", 230-pound Big Ten Player of the Year, Keita Bates-Diop, or who averages 19.2 points, 8.9 boards, or 6'9", 250-pound Caleb Wesson will have a smaller, less skilled defender on them. It also means that Wesson and Bates-Diop can double up on Lamar Stevens, 6'8", 226-pound Lamar Stevens. And I just think this is a great spot for Ohio State, and I wish I got it at a better line, but...
Okay. All right. We got a lot of interesting comments here. Some people are asking about the Oscars, so let's kind of get into everything. First of all, one person talked about. A lot of people are saying that it makes me nervous when everyone is on Ohio State, and of course, and people were talking about how Ohio State opened at -2, and that of course it's always important if you think you're seeing an edge to say if the line makes sense to you and ask why the line is where it is. And in this case, I think the line does make sense because once again, people are betting Ohio State because Penn State does have the injury, right? Penn State already beat him twice, so it's revenge, and Iowa State, I think, is the better team. But from a year-long stats perspective, the line makes sense, right? Penn State was a great team. They beat Ohio State twice, and the market can't just look at those hard-to-quantify factors and be like, all right, now we're going to throw up an 8.5 there. They have to look at the power rankings that are based on year-long stats and put the line roughly where it is. I mean, if you look at the overall Ken Pom rankings, that's where the lines are mostly going to be. You know what I'm saying? And Sportsbook, the market cannot deviate too much from those power rankings, so the line does make sense to me. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I absolutely do.
All right.
Wish I got it in the morning.
Yes. Other comments. We'll talk about that. There's one bet that I fucking missed in a big way in terms of a line move. But people are asking about the Oscars now. Kobe Valentine says Max Holt get out at 18-1. That could be my sense is that on the Oscars, I'm always only ever looking at the favorite or the second choice because the Oscars are people. It's based on voting. It's not objective, right? You know what I'm saying? So people know how people are going to vote. It's possible, I guess, that a big underdog like that could win. Maybe Get Out will win at 18-1. My sense is that's either the first choice or the second choice, and I did give already as an official pick 3 billboards at -125 at Heritage. Now I've had some people in the comment section saying my friend works in Hollywood, this, there, and that. They disagree with that pick. They think that Get Out has a chance at 18-1, and they think that the other one, the Waters movie. I haven't seen any of these movies. I fucking hate movies, but
the water monster who has sex with the woman.
Something like that. Whatever it is.
It is exactly that.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. This water monster. I believe her name is Mimi. This water monster. Seriously, it's a soft porn.
Really?
This monster comes out of the water. Bangs for an hour and 25 minutes. Credits roll. Oscar winner.
Right. Yeah. All right. I just hate movies so much that I never watch them. But I know how betting works, and I did take the 3 billboards one at -125. Some people saying that another guy said that he thinks that movie is as an underdog might have some value. But that's my Shape of Water. That's my Oscars pick. All right. Let's move on to the rest of the college basketball card. First game that I'm annoyed that I missed on the opening line was the St. Peter's Rider first half under. It opened at 66. Thought that was a great bet, and I think this is going to be a modest scoring game to start. And I might give the first half under right now, which is still at 64 at UWager -110 and 5 dimes. But wish I'd gotten the opener at 66 at Pinnacle. St. Peter's Rider. St. Peter's obviously a bad team, but they did play Rider tight 2 times this year, didn't they, Jim?
They certainly did. I have a ton to say about this game because it's my only double up.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm on St. Peter's first half and full game. Wow. St. Peter's coming off a 60-58 victory last night over a Monmouth team that is pretty good. The pretty good start to get past a tough Monmouth team that came back. They had injuries throughout the year. They had their full accompaniment of players, and it's a great way to get this tournament started. Now,
Nothing. Dan Kelly says, was there a good Oscar movie to bet on that featured curling and women's ice dancing? Nice, Dan Kelly.
They faced Ryder in 2 very close games this year, as Pete was mentioning. An 88-84 loss at home, followed by a 63-60 loss at Ryder. In the first game, St. Peter's was up by 6 at the half. In the second, they were up by 9 at the half. They also have the benefit of a game under their belt to get comfortable on the Albany court. The Peacocks have won 3 straight. They're rolling in the right direction. I think this is a great spot, and I am on St. Peter's doubling up first half full game.
All right, St. Peter's. The full game is this line has moved in Ryder's direction. Opened at 5. It's now up to 6 or 6.5. UWager and Heritage both up to 6.5. Bookmaker at 6.5 minus 109. Wow. So we'll give you that one. We'll give you St. Peter's plus 6.5 minus 109. Pretty clearly the market moving in Ryder's direction. You want the first half as well.
Yes.
Let's see
the
where
market may be moving in Ryder's direction.
Yeah.
But Nostra Tota.
Really? He likes St. Peter's?
My man Maxwell Smart.
Really?
My man Twadi Latte.
Wow. Okay, well, we'll be able to give you the first half plus 3.5 minus 115. That's a great line, Heritage. And I will take the first half under at 64 minus 110. What do you think about that? Do you see a low-scoring game here, Jim?
I do see a lower scoring game, but it's such a low number.
Yeah, it is.
That I just have a little fear. If I had to make a move, I would make that move.
All right, I'm taking the first half under 64 minus 110. Although I wish I had gotten 66, and if this one lands on 65 or 66, I'll be super pissed. Let's move on to some other games here that are definitely interesting. I don't even know. Well, what did you look at, Jim, that you're liking on this card?
Oh, sweet. Now I decided to take a bunch of plays off. So I'll keep going with the plays, but I've capped a ton of these games. A play that I love, another play that has Twadi juice all over it, is the under in Pepperdine at Santa Clara.
Okay.
Both teams are dealing with injuries. Santa Clara leading scorer KJ Fegan left Saturday's game against St. Mary's after 12 minutes with an ankle injury. He's questionable to go tonight. They scored 40 points in the game without him. They are already the 326th ranked offense in the nation, averaging just 66 points a game with them. Also, second leading rebounder, Emmanuel Nudemania, also left the St. Mary's game with a back injury. He's questionable to go tonight. Pepperdine doesn't have a lot of scoring either. They've lost their third leading scorer, Eric Cooper Jr., to a shoulder injury. This has hurt their offense immensely. He's missed the last 2 games. He's questionable to go tonight. Each time they've played each other, one team has shot over 50%. Santa Clara shot 57%, and the scores were still modest. Without these players in the lineup, this game is going under. That's why the market's moving in that direction, and that's what I think is going to happen in this game this evening.
All right, so you want that one, Jim, huh?
Full game.
Yeah, it is headed down. 136.5 minus 110. 136.5 minus 110. Jim's going to take Santa Clara under 136.5 minus 110. I like that breakdown, Jimmy the Bag. I like that breakdown. Let me see what the first half total on that one would be. Let's see, where is it? Santa Clara, 63.5 or 63, down from 64.5. All right, Jim liking the Santa Clara under 136.5. There's a bunch of plays that I'm liking. Let's get to one here, Jim. Let me see. What else was I liking? Oh, did you happen to look at the NC Asheville Liberty game, because that line is taking a big move in favor of Liberty. NC Asheville, obviously the top team, and they're at home. Is someone out for NC Asheville? Did you look at that game, Jim?
I didn't get a chance to get to that game, but I can look right now.
I don't understand that one at all. Let's quickly talk about the Purdue Rutgers game. I'm thinking that nice little win for Rutgers over Minnesota. I like Rutgers over Minnesota, but I think it ends here in a major way, with a major thud, Jim. I think Purdue on the first half might be a good bet. What do you think?
Maybe on the first half, but I'm taking Rutgers full game.
Really?
I am.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think they can keep it within 15. Rutgers defeated Minnesota and Indiana on back-to-back days to get the opportunity to play Purdue right now in the quarterfinals. Corey Sanders is lighting it up. He scored 51 points so far through 2 games. Rutgers had lost 10 of 11 coming into the tourney. They lost very badly the first time they met Purdue at Mackey Arena, 82-51. Rutgers went just 2 for 13 from 3, shot just 20 for 60 from the field. The next time they met, this time at the RAC, Purdue won 78-76. Rutgers went 31 for 64 from the field and 6 for 12 from 3. They're shooting well right now. they'll be able to shoot just like that again. They also dominated on the boards in that game. We think of Purdue as this team that can win the board battle because they have so much height, but they seem to rarely do it. They the 37-25 board victory by Rutgers included 15 offensive boards. Purdue's a very good team. There's no doubt about it, but I just feel like 15 points is too big a spread for a team that is against a team that is starting to believe in themselves.
All right. Well, I'm going to take Purdue on the first half minus 8.5, minus 105. That is at Bet365, and you want a Rutgers on the full game?
I do.
Okay, let's find it. I'm not necessarily. You might be very right here. We could both cash, but it is up to a 15.5 at Heritage. That's the only place that has a 15.5.
Nice.
So we can give you a Rutgers plus 15.5 minus 110. Rutgers plus 15.5 minus 110, and I'm on the Purdue first half minus 8.5 minus 105.
Some great stuff coming in here.
Yeah.
Seriously saying Purdue soft as hell. Remember when Western Kentucky pushed them around earlier in the year? Just because they have these 7-footers on their team doesn't necessarily mean they're that tough. They aren't. Kobe Valentine says Scarlet Knights are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 neutral site games. King Rail says Rutgers covers, but it will be a nail biter.
I don't know. I just see it as, that guy Edwards and Matthews are both kind of playing well right now, and they got that that Edwards is back, returning to the lineup, and I'm sorry, Edwards and Matthias playing well, and so I don't know. I'm just thinking that it ends here for Rutgers. But you're right.
Oh, the game. Yeah. They're not going. They're
not
going to win.
Right.
I just think 15 points.
You're right.
15 and a half. It's a ton of points. And I think these teams that have games under their belt start better than the teams who've been off for a little while. So that's why that first half play sort of scares me.
Yeah.
Purdue's clearly the better team here, but.
All right, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. A lot of people liking the under here. Cody Av says under Purdue. A lot of people saying that they're going to slow down the pace. Justin Searcy says Rutgers is soft as hell. Kobe Valentine, Rutgers 5-1 ATS in their last 6 neutral site games.
Look at
That's
Max
nice.
With capitals. What? All capitals from Max.
What? Oh, wow. Okay, yes. Crappy road team covers spreads on neutral court. Yes. Okay, I'm not taking them a full game. I'm just taking them first half, and I do think that if Purdue is up by like 11 or 12 at the half, I might be looking at Rutgers on a second half play for sure. But I'm just going to take Purdue on the first half. Okay, let's see some other comments here that I just Melas Palas Way likes the full game over on the Purdue game. That's interesting. Let me see some other stuff here. Just scanning comments here. Let's see. Just scanning comments here. Melas Palas Way likes the Youngstown State game over. We will talk about that one. Let's see. G Money Top Shelf asking Princeton or Brown. We'll talk about that. And there you go, Miss J. This show is so great. I'm in the grocery store making final picks. Can't miss this shit. Miss J, how much do we freaking love comments like that? And Miss J, regular commenter. Thank you so much, Miss J. God, that is awesome. Once again, this show is so great. I'm in the grocery store making final picks. Can't miss this shit. King Rail. Jimmy the Bag, you ready?
Yes.
King Rail says this show is the worst show I've ever seen. No, just kidding. King Rail says, I think St. Peter's is a horrible bet. Ryder understands what happened last game and will adjust.
Yes, I understand.
And King Rail is nailing college basketball recently.
Well, King Rail didn't like some of my picks yesterday.
Oh, really? Okay. King Rail says, I think St. Peter's a horrible bet. Ryder understands what happened last game and will adjust. And I will say this. I mean, that maybe St. Peter's played Ryder twice in 2 games, but in general, St. Peter's a bad team, and in general, Ryder's a great team. You know what I'm saying?
I think St. Peter's has the kind of squad that can make some noise in this tournament.
Okay, all right, let's, whoa, Alan Action says Rutgers plus 15 looks pretty good. Okay, Alan Action, new commenter who has been tracking his picks. All right, okay, so let's move on to other plays in Rio Duarte. McGogster likes Ryder first half. Okay. All right, so let's look at some other plays in college basketball that I was thinking about. Where should I go? Let me just scan down because I have a lot of plays here. The Cornell Harvard game is passed. Ohio Miami Ohio. I was thinking about an over on this one, and the first half over I will definitely give. I assume you didn't look into that one, Jim. That's kind of a minor game there.
I wanted to look into it, but I didn't because I started, but I didn't because I kind of like Miami of Ohio. I like the Red Hawks. But Twatty's on Ohio, and when someone's like that I really respect is on the other side of me, I just kind of leave the game alone and try to find something else.
All right, well, I'm going to take the first half over on this one, 66 minus 110. That's a market line, and I would have a lean to the full game over on that one as well. Let's just go down this.
Billy T's talking about the Canisius game here.
Yes.
I looked into this for a long time.
All right, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because I was thinking Canisius might be a good bet here, first half, full game, and everything. What do you think?
Well, I didn't think that. I was thinking about the Bobcats, and I wanted to play the Bobcats, but Nostratota did think that line was bang on, and I didn't make the move. And I got King Rail this morning. But, man, I got nothing but love for King Rail. I think he's a great capper, and we love having him on the show. Russell Beiswanger says, is Twatty a chick, Jimmy? That's a good question. That's a valid question. But, no, Twatty's all man. Quinnipiac looked very good in their opener against Siena. Now we know Siena's trash. But they took a 40-16 lead into the half, coasted to victory. They played second in the conference. Canisius, tough both times they played them, losing by 8 at home and 7 at Canisius. It's just that Canisius is so good at handling the ball. They got these 2 point guards that they play, Isaiah Reese and Malik Johnson. They handle the ball so well. They each average over 4.6 assists a game, and they never turn the ball over. In the 2 games against the Bobcats this year, Canisius turned the ball over just 12 times combined, while Quinnipiac turned the ball over 31 times combined. The longer I looked at it, I was like, you know, I just don't feel like I have a big enough edge to make a bet here. But
you were leaning Quinnipiac, huh?
I was.
All right. See, I was thinking maybe a shot with the all right, Detroit Green Bay. The first half over did cash, thank God, and I'm going to be looking at a second half play on that one maybe. While we look at all this, all right. So I was thinking about Canisius. I'll think about that when we get to that game. I'm just going down the line here. All right, Princeton Brown. I was thinking that Princeton might be a play here. I'm not sure. Did you look at that one, Jim?
I've had a problem with the Ivy League. I started with the Ivy League quite well, and then about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I got absolutely annihilated by the Ivy League. So, and it started happening again because the game I broke down was the Columbia-Dartmouth game, and where I was thinking the guys I capped with think I was off, and so I just left the Ivy League alone. But I have capped that Columbia-Dartmouth game in its entirety when you want.
Okay, well, I'll throw on Princeton on the first half, -1, -115. That's the line at Heritage and UWager, and I'd be leaning Princeton on the full game as well. I'm pretty impressed with what Princeton did against Harvard. That was an impressive game. You know, thankfully we did cash with Harvard, but it was a lot closer. It didn't quite go as I expected. Then Princeton got a big win and cover over Dartmouth, and I'm pretty impressed with what Princeton's doing. I'm taking Princeton on first half -1, -115. St. Peter's and Ryder, we already got to that one. Missouri State, Southern Illinois, that is a tough one. All right, Columbia-Dartmouth. Let's talk about that one, Jim. What do you think?
Sure. Michael Robinson giving me love. It wasn't the Jackson Lipscomb over. It was the Navy over that we were on the other side. But thank you so much, Michael. It was a wonderful victory there. Columbia-Dartmouth. I thought there was value in a couple spots and was basically talked off of it, and for good reason. But let's break it down. Columbia, vastly improved squad, but it's just 1-12 on the road this year. They've lost 11 straight games away from home. Their only road win was the second game of the year versus the Longwood Lancers. Dartmouth has won 2 of its last 3 home games, beating Princeton and Brown, losing to Yale. Columbia won their first meeting 77-74 at home. My first inclination when I broke down that game they played and went over all the highlights of that game was they're not going to shoot like that again. This game should go under. Dartmouth went toe-to-toe with Columbia's high-scoring guards, Quentin Adlish and Mike Smith. Adlish and Smith are good guards. Adlish Smith went 9 for 18 from 3 in that game, and Dartmouth was hammering threes against them, hit an amazing 14 for 27. Columbia is connected on 69 more threes than Dartmouth this year. Defending the perimeter will be paramount in this game. I really felt like this game was going to go under. But the guys I was capping with didn't agree. And I just left the game.
The Columbia-Dartmouth game.
Yeah.
I looked at that one, and the Columbia-Dartmouth. I thought that that's a pass for me. That's a pass for me.
You know, Kobe says the way Dartmouth has struggled lately, which has me looking at Columbia. Yeah, man, I wanted to do it, but I'm totally comfortable. As Twatty Latte says, Twatty juice on Dartmouth.
Okay,
man. You know, I would love to take Dartmouth here. I think Columbia is just trash. trash at home. Or sorry, on the road.
Okay, well, what about a team total? Can I interest you in that, Jim? How about a team total under on Columbia? How about a team total over on Dartmouth? Can I interest you in any of those, Jim?
No. What time does this game start?
It starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time, Jim.
Damn it. I like Dartmouth here, but I just can't really trust them. I do not expect Dartmouth to go 14 for 27 from 3, and even doing that, they lost that game to Columbia. Columbia had a nice lead in that game, too, and Dartmouth had to come back. I'm with Twatty. If I was doing better in college basketball, I would take Dartmouth. Twatty is on the Dartmouth under here, and that was my move. But Nostra really liked the over, and when he likes a certain play and I'm on the other side, it's best for me just not to make the play.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Then another game that's interesting is Penn and Yale, and I'm on the overs in this one. I think that might be a decent play. Did you look at that one, Jim?
No, the Columbia-Dartmouth was the only Ivy League game I looked into, and I got off of it.
All right, I will probably throw on the Penn Yale. I'll throw on the Penn Yale over right now. Yeah, let me just find the best line here. I'm not going to take the first half, just the full game. Penn Yale over. The Greek has 142.5, so I will take that one. Yale over 142.5 minus 110, and I would have a lean to the first half over as well. Penn Yale over 142.5 minus 110. Now let's talk about Chattanooga Samford. That is definitely an interesting game. Both games, Samford, of course, a very high scoring team this year, but both of their games went under this year, and I'm thinking that we might see a first half under here. Did you look at that one, Jim?
Oh, sorry. I'm still the Chattanooga game. I did, and Artsmead wants to know about it, but I just have to read these final notes on this game, the Dartmouth game.
Okay.
Kobe has some great notes on it.
Okay.
Columbia 1-4-1 against the spread in their last 6 road games. Under is 11-1 in Dartmouth's last 12 versus the Ivy League. Under is 14-3 in Dartmouth's last 17 overall. Under is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings against this team. If we can, I am adding 2 games to my NBA card. I would love to come back to this before the show ends, if possible.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't get a chance to hit that Chattanooga game.
All right. I was leaning first half under on that one, even though Samford is a scary team to take unders with because they can be so high scoring. And I was also leaning, where the hell is it? Where the hell was it? I was leaning Samford minus the points here against Chattanooga. That is how the market is going, of course, as we've seen. Expect the unexpected in these conference tournaments. But I was definitely thinking that Samford should have the edge here over Chattanooga, and I will take it. Pinnacle has 2 minus 116 still, so I'll throw that one on there. Samford -2 minus 116. That is the current line at Pinnacle. And I also really want to take a shot with the first half under. And 72 minus 129 or 71.5 minus 110. Gosh, let me think about this. Jim, while I think about this, are there any other college games you'd like to get to?
There are, definitely. We have to talk about Rhode Island at Davidson. Man. Another spot where so many cappers are on either side here, and it was so difficult that I left it off. I know Max is on Rhode Island, and why wouldn't he be? 2 things are happening here. Rhode Island is going to have a bounce back, and secondly, I love the way Davidson can defend the perimeter with the length of their guards. And we know that Rhode Island likes to take shot after shot after shot from out there. Rhode Island closed out their home portion of the schedule with the dud, 78-48 loss to St. Joe's. First home loss all season. Worst loss in Coach Dan Hurley's 96 home games at Rhode Island. Second worst home loss by a ranked team against an unranked opponent in the history of the AP poll. St. Joseph's 2-3 zone defense flustered the Rams. Obviously, other teams are going to notice this and do the same thing. Rams suffered through their worst shooting performance of the season. 28.1% from the field, 10.3% from 3. They're obviously going to have a bounce-back spot. Wildcats lost to Rhode Island by 13 points on February 9th. They're coming off a 117-113 triple overtime loss at St. Bonaventure on Tuesday. Peyton Aldridge went off for 45. Kellen Grady went off for 39. Davidson has the perimeter defense to give Rhode Island fits. The top 3 guards are 6'4", 6'5", and 6'6". But it's a tricky spot. Twatty's on Davidson. Max is on Rhode Island. There's people on each side.
I mean, it's obviously a bounce-back spot for Rhode Island. And I was thinking maybe Rhode Island team total over, but you like the way that Davidson defends, huh?
I love I love the length of their guards. I love them.
All right, Jay Scum says, I'm not touching the Rhode Island game. Could go either way, and that is what I'm going to do as well. Pass for me. All right, Jimmy the Bag, while I make a decision here, all right, I will take the Samford game first half under. I'll take it. I'll take under, first half under. 72 minus 129. That is the current line at Pinnacle. First half under 72 minus 129. I'll take it. It's Chattanooga Sanford. First half under 72 minus 129. I'd also be leaning full game under on that one as well. Let's move on down the line here. Oh, Jacksonville State, Murray State. Strangely low total in this one. Did you look at that one, Jim? Because I'm thinking about an over here.
No, I did not get to that one.
I don't get this low total at all, really. Jacksonville State, Murray State. I'll take it. I'll take the Murray State first half over. Murray State first half over, which is very low. I understand it's a conference tournament game, but I think these teams can put up points. 62 at Bookmaker. Wow, I'm going to take that one. Jacksonville State, Murray State first half over 62 at Bookmaker and Intertops and Bet365. And the full game over is, let me find that one, it's like 135, 134.5 for the Greek. I'll take that one as well. I'll take the full game over 134.5 minus 110. That is the current line of the Greek. Murray State first half over 134.5. That's at the Greek. I'm taking overs in Jacksonville State, Murray State, Jim.
Yeah, no, I get it.
All right, then a big game that I'm sure you did look into. Very interesting game: Cleveland State and Youngstown State. We have this. We have had some success taking Youngstown State as a big underdog this year, and had some success, I believe, with timing some nice games for Cleveland State. Two kind of bad teams, but now they're matched up against each other. It's a high total. They played recently. It went into overtime. Do you have an edge here, Jim?
I thought I did, and I decided I didn't. I was initially going to take Cleveland State. I know my man Twaddy's on Cleveland State. Cleveland State is terrible on the boards, but only Naz Bohannon of Youngstown State, 6'6", 230-pound freshman, can take advantage of it, and he does when these teams play. He dominates the boards. Youngstown State defeated them 80-77 in their first meeting, but Cleveland State came back on Saturday night, just this past Saturday night, to win 99-94 at Youngstown State in double overtime. The Vikings went 11 for 17 from 3 in the win, and I just can't expect that again, even if I like Cleveland State here. Senior Bobby Word went 7 for 9 from 3. He's shooting at a 40% clip, but he stepped up of late. He's hit 14 of his last 22 from 3. Kasheem Thomas has moved into the starting unit for the Vikings. He has helped a great deal. I just didn't feel like I had enough of an edge. I think this is a going to be a very close game, and it just didn't make sense for me to take one when I just didn't really fully back it.
All right, let's scan some comments, and then we'll on handicapping only, and then we'll go back to more college basketball. Okay? Maxwell Smart, Cleveland State, $sign. What do you think about that, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, both him and Twaddy are on Cleveland State, but I just don't see the Vikings shooting like this, shooting the way they did in that last game. And they shot 11 for 17 from 3. I mean, we're talking about one of the worst rebounding teams in the entire nation. It's just, I just can't have faith that they're going to go 11 for 17 or something like that from 3. And I made that mistake with Auburn a few days ago, and I'm just not going to make these mistakes. I'm not going to expect greatness from Cleveland State.
King Rail saying, please don't bet this game. That might be the smart way to go. I was thinking maybe a shot with the under, but I am Prometheus says, I lean hard on Cleveland State. Melas Pelas Way says, Youngstown State full game over. Yeah, nice here. Isan Zolfagari says, Pete, I just looked at Sanford, and I think you're on the right side. They should pull it off. Chattanooga garbage. Yes. Sanford is no great shakes, but Chattanooga definitely is garbage. Jalen Jones quickly says 129.93 Nuggets, which is good. Jim and I both gave the Memphis team total under 103 in the morning show, so it's nice to see that one. Up. Rixer 00 says Murray State over lock. Murray State over lock. He says that's a lock. Very, very nice. All right. Let's see other comments here coming in here. Let's see. Okay. Well, Jose Eng, Rhode Island, main bet for me. All right. A lot of people taking shots on these tough games. Rhode Island game, tough game, right? Cleveland State, tough game, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue to move on. Let's see. Elio Rodriguez says Sanford has my eye. All right. Let's move on. Other comments. I mean, other games. Let's move on down the line here. Let's see. Ball State, Northern Illinois. I was thinking about a shot with the under on that one. I think I like the under on Ball State, Northern Illinois, and I will give that one just on the full game. Ball State, Northern Illinois under 147.5 minus 110. I don't like the fact that Pinnacle has 147 minus 121, but I'll take that one under 147.5 minus 110. Northern Illinois under 147.5 minus 110. Liberty, UNC Asheville. Weird line movement here, Jim. Weird line movement. Not sure what's up here. NC Asheville, of course, a great team for the conference. They are at home, but they opened at -3 and now down to -1 or 1.5. Wacky line movement there.
Yeah.
Wacky, fucked up line movement. Rutgers, Purdue, we've already covered that one. I'm on Purdue first half. Jim's on Rutgers full game. Portland, Loyola, Maryland. I have slight leans to the under full game and first half on that one. Quinnipiac, Canisius, interesting game there. And wow, it looks like we covered it all, Jim.
No, we haven't hit Iowa State at Oklahoma.
Yes. Hit that one, Jim.
Big game. There's so much on the line for Oklahoma. Another loss, and they may not see the tourney this year. Iowa State's 0-9 on the road this year. They upset the then number 17 ranked Sooners 88-80. That night, Trae Young went just 7 for 21 from the floor and 1 for 8 from 3. He was outplayed by the Cyclone tandem of Lindell Wigginton and Donovan Jackson. The Sooners as a team went just 6 for 27 from 3 in that game. Two things I don't trust here. I don't trust the Cyclones on the road, and I don't trust the Sooners to cover a 10-point spread. Because of that, I'm laying off the game.
Okay, so let's review all the picks that we've given. Loco, give a once over to the card, once over to the comments, and then decide if we want to move on. Jim has given Ohio State -5, -105. St. Peter's first half +3.5 and full game +6.5. That one makes me nervous, Jim, and King Rail doesn't like it at all. It just makes me nervous because St. Peter's are just fundamentally not. I know they played Rider twice, but they're just close, but they're just not that good of a team. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I don't think Rider's a good team. I think they're overvalued.
Okay, Santa Clara under 136.5. Jim gave a nice breakdown on that one. I think he's on the right side on that one. I might tail that one. And Rutgers +15.5. All my picks, including that, not including the morning show picks. I did take Samford -2. Samford first half under 72 -129. The Rider game first half under 64. Northern Illinois under 147.5. Princeton first half -1. Purdue first half -8.5. Miami, Ohio first half over 66. Murray State first half over 62 and the full game over 134.5. And the Yale Penn game over 142.5 -110. Let me just check my my notes here to see if there's nothing that I'm missing out on here. Yeah. Okay. And let's check some comments here. Jose Yang says, I'm with you, Jimmy, on St. Peter's. All right. Very nice job. You know, Jimmy, if St. Peter's covers easily on this one, you would get a Genius Award for that one because that is a nice call there. If it turns out, let's see how it turns out. Let's see other comments. Luke Charleston says, I think Oklahoma gets up and wins by 15. I was thinking that one as well. On the other hand, Alan Action says Oklahoma has given up. Jose Eng says Oklahoma covers today. Jay Scum says Oklahoma should not be favored by 10.5 points.
I agree.
Interesting. Iron Prometheus says Trey's going to have a big game. He may well. That definitely does not mean that they're a good bet as a big favorite. We see this all the time in college basketball. Teams with one star who's clearly headed to the NBA get overvalued. And those stars do have big games over and over again, but doesn't mean they're good bets. We saw this with Washington with Markelle Fultz, LSU with Ben Simmons, even LSU with Shaquille O'Neal. You see it a lot, and I think we saw it this year once again with Oklahoma and Trae Young, right?
I agree completely.
And yeah, Trae Young is going to have a big game, sure. So bet player props over. Don't bet. They're saying wrap it up. Okay, let's see. What else do we have here, Jim? Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's move on, and then if we have time, come back.
All right, let's quickly move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag, let's talk about this big NHL card.
Richie Incognito right away saying Ducks money line. You know, I don't make those bets, and the guys who follow the show know the bets I make and have had great success this year with. I only take puck lines. I don't try to put myself. I try not to put myself in a situation where I have a -130 or a bigger favorite. So I'm very happy to have the Ducks here on the puck line. I'm trying not to let it sway my gambling, but I just despise some of the things that Tortorella does. And his comments about some of the players that have played here forever looking over their shoulders because of the new guys coming in.
I mean, he's still doing it now?
He did. This was today. This was
he did
last
it today?
night. Yeah, last night.
What did he say?
Well, I only used a cut of the clip, but he said, I sense they're looking over their shoulder, some of the guys that have played here forever.
Oh,
what an asshole.
Yes.
He just keeps everybody scared.
Listen, it's 2018. You know what the law of 2018? Zero loyalty. Go fuck yourself. Every man for himself. Zero loyalty. That's what we're doing at Columbus this year, Jim.
Yeah, I think that he gets tuned out by teams after a little while. I despise the way he coaches, and I like the Ducks here. the Jackets fortified themselves with Vanek, Letestu, and Cole, who was just completely unwanted. And I think that they could buckle under the pressure, and that's what happened with the Kings. Now, I've heard that Gibson is about to come back. I don't trust Ryan Miller, even though he has got a great home record this year. It says John Gibson should be back on Friday. Does that mean he will start? Let's see here. Is expected to make his return. Oh, that's great. Oh, that makes me much more comfortable with the Ducks. Oh, because I was asked which puck line I like better between the Preds and the Ducks. Knowing that Gibson will be back, I think I'd have to say the Ducks.
Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, the 7 o'clock game is Montreal Islanders. The line moved in Montreal's favor this morning. Jim didn't care. He grabbed the Islanders at -117. That was the right thing to do because now that line is up into the -130s, Jim.
Yes, and it's funny because I don't know if I was backing the Canadians. I don't know who I'd rather have in net. Niemi is playing much better than I thought he would. I thought he was about to be bounced from the NHL, but we talked about how he was good enough that they got rid of Montoya, and then Lindgren has looked great. So as a Canadian, if you're a Canadian fan, I don't know who you'd rather have in net. I just think that if the Islanders lose this game, throw in the towel. They need this win at home. They were once a very good home team earlier in this year. So I expect them to step up. The Canadians have lost 8 of their last 10 games, but 4 of them have gone to overtime or a shootout. That's why I didn't take the Islanders on the puck line. Islanders have snipers that can win that kind of a shootout or overtime situation. So yes, I'm into this Islander spot. I think it's a pretty safe spot.
I'm thinking about tailing you now at -130 at the Greek. What do you think, Jim? You like this one? You think it's a solid play?
I really do. The Habs won their home game 3-1, and now the Islanders must step up. Truly
you think
must
they're in a good mindset to get a win here? And
I do. I think, it's tough to trust Halak, but I always trust him when he plays the Habs. He has a rich history with that hockey team. Alan Action says, I'm taking the Canadians, Jimmy, my play of the night.
Wow.
Could you give us more information on why you like that?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to hold off on that one. Buffalo, Florida. Jim gave Florida on the puck line at +150. New Jersey, Carolina. Jim passed on that one, but I took Carolina -1, and that line has taken about a 5-cent move in my favor. Detroit, Winnipeg. Jim and I both took Winnipeg. Jim took them on the puck line. I took them on the -1 line. That line has not moved, but that's understandable. The Rangers line. Jim took that one at +177. That line has not moved at all, but that's an interesting call by Jimmy the Bag there. Minnesota, Colorado. Jim had no play on that one. Columbus, Anaheim. Again, Jim liked that Anaheim. He took a +211 on the puck line there, and that line has taken a nice little 15-cent move in his favor. It's now +196 at Pinnacle. Nashville, Vancouver. Jim took Nashville on the puck line +180, and that line has not moved at all. That is right where it was when Jim took it. And then Ottawa, Vegas. Jim did take a shot with Ottawa on the money line +220. That line also has not moved much. Best line right now would be +219 at Bet Online. And that's it for NHL. Jim, you want to add any other picks, add any other comments? What do you want to do here, Jim?
No, I'm not adding any other comments. Isan asking about whether or not I think that Islanders game will go under or over. I do expect a tight checking affair, but it's hard to trust this Islanders team at home to keep the scoring down. So it's a kind of a stay away spot for me there. Magazia says, who do you like best in this NHL card? And that's a difficult spot. I mean, it's not every day that you can say, oh, I like this play best, because yesterday it was so easy for me with the Shark spot. It was such an easy game to break down, knowing that they were going to play this AHL netminder again. And I think that could happen with Lindgren. I mean, we have tape on Lindgren now. I really find, now I know that Gabriel Rodriguez is all over the Canadians here, but I guess if I was to look at what game do I believe, I mean, the Jets puck line is a nice spot. Maybe, I guess, because the Islanders is a favorite line, I would say the Jets puck line, I guess, I think is the biggest kind of a slam dunk opportunity. And then I would take the Islanders right behind it. I really feel like when you have tape of these AHL goalies, we find holes. You got to be an absolute elite goaltender in today's NHL.
All right, so let's move on. That's it for the NHL. NBA got cut off because we had internet problems in the morning. But Jim did give. Let's see, what NBA plays did you give in the morning?
I got him right here.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay,
Jim
cool.
gave Orlando first half +1, Atlanta first half +7.5, Clippers -8.5, and Jim and I both took Memphis team total under 103. And I also made a controversial play once again, taking an under with Golden State Atlanta 227. That line I believe is headed up, but AA Sports, who is a guy who that's the guy who said that he liked the Lakers to beat. Very nice job.
Yeah.
AA Sports says he's with me on the under. Let's get to that one. AA Sports Trading, that's the guy who had the Lakers last night against Miami. Great call there. And he says, Peter, I'm with you on the under in the Hawks game. Hawks will get torched if they play up-tempo, plus cash is coming in for overs. So, yeah, I guess this is a good spot to go against. Okay.
What's the number you get?
Right now, it's still right at 227. Right, it has not moved in then yet. It's still right at 227.
Interesting.
Anything you want to add in the NBA?
Anthony McSherry says Rich Banks is on the Hawks game over. I never fade that man. He is good. He is very good.
With NBA, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I might be on the wrong side here, but I'm not going to pull it. Although I could take 226.5 at the Greek, and then I wouldn't risk getting middled. But I'm gonna hold off for now. I'll stick with it. Jimmy the Bag. What do you want to add, if anything, from the NBA card?
I am adding 2 plays. Jeremy M says, Jimmy, don't lie. You know Calgary is a slam dunk. Man, I do not believe in that hockey team at all. Scotty Rock Forever says, Jimmy, you said take Ducks -1.5. Yes, I did, and yes, I will. Brent Brooks is loving Vegas on the puck line, and I'm really excited to watch Ottawa play in this game. Okay, I'm adding 2 plays. Why don't I go with the play that I'm most comfortable with?
Okay.
It goes against all of the trends. But I've been watching these 2 teams very closely, and I'm taking the Timberwolves at Jazz under, and I really believe in it. I understand every single trend that you will read between these 2 teams will tell you to take the over. I get it. But I've been watching both these teams closely. First off, we went over all these notes in the early show, so I don't need to rehash them. But just speaking from the heart, we know that this Timberwolves lineup is very tall. It's a big, tall lineup, and they're slower. Now they have Jeff Teague at the point who's going to run, but he's going to have to wait for these guys to get into position every single time. Also, Ricky Rubio looks like a shell of his former self of 2 weeks ago. I don't know how this guy is such an enigma. And you never know what you're going to get with Rubio from week to week. One time he's a fucking superstar, and then next week he's terrible. Right now he is terrible. 8.3 points, 4.3 assists in the 3 games he's been back for. The offense has completely fallen off since Rubio got hurt. And so, yes, I like the under here. And you have to almost throw the stats out the window because with Butler on the team, it changes every single dynamic. When you've got Wiggins moving to the 2 from the 3, you have a 6'8 guy at the 2. You have a 6'9 guy at the 3, or 6'10 guy playing the 3, and a 6'9 Tyler Gibson at the 4, a 7-footer at the 5. You're not going to be sprinting up and down the floor. You have to wait for these guys to get set up.
Okay, you want the under?
Very much.
All right, 209 -110 is the best line right now at Bookmaker. It's 208, 208.5, or 209 market wide. Interesting stuff. Desi Lathan likes Timberwolves on the spread. Jeremy M likes a Minnesota money line and the under. Let's see, King Rail, Timberwolves best bet tonight. So that none of these people are disagreeing with your play on the under. It seems like most people liking Minnesota here. Omar Magana says Jazz win in a revenge game. Rui Duarte says Jazz -7.5. Okay, so people are mostly split on the side. No one really disagreeing with you on the under though. Wow, Gilded Chimp says Jazz under ? Fuck it, I'm on it. Wow.
Yeah, and now Kobe's got trends that do support the play because I was sent trends this morning that all went to the over, but he's found some good trends. Unders 5-2 in Timberwolves last 7 games, playing on 0 days rest. That's a great stat. Wow. I didn't know that. And unders 4-0 in Jazz last 4 overall. I do really like this play.
Really?
Very much, yeah.
All right, I'll tail you on this one, Jim. What do you think about that? I'll tail you.
It makes me want it so badly.
All right, under 209 -110. I will take it. Interesting stuff here. Utah, Minnesota under 209 -110. Jim made the pick, and I did a no work or no research on it, and I'm going to try to get a free unit as well. We'll both get 1 unit. Jim did all the work. I did none. Well, no, I did some of the work by listening to you. That counts as work.
Absolutely.
Listening to a person doing analysis and deciding what you think of their analysis is actually work. Counts as work. All right, Jim, what else do you like in the NBA?
First, I want to give a shout out to Magsy, who asks for the one play. Magsy only makes the one bet a day and has been so successful with it. And that's what we love having you here. And I was worried because Magsy hasn't been with us for that long talking, and I was worried because some of them have lost. Like I had that great day yesterday, but I was getting crushed for a week and a half.
I hope Mags has been with us long enough to know about bet sizing appropriately, money management, because if you don't do that, you will lose long-term no matter who you are, even if you're Billy Walters, even if you're Harlos Fowler-Arbos, and even if you're Jimmy the Bag and Peter Loshak, right, Jim?
Magsy up $6,000 in February.
Wow.
February was a great month for me in NHL until the last fucking 7-8. Okay, the second game I'm adding is back to the good old trustworthy thing. Fade the Thunder on the road in every circumstance. And even if you have the Suns, fade them. And I'm going to do just that. It's a big enough spread. Now, the last time I did this, it was just a week ago with the Suns, and they ended up losing by 9. It was against the Pelicans, I think. And Pelicans were a tired team.
Oh, yeah, I had that one with you. It was 7.5, and they lost by 9. Yeah.
And so I have a tiny bit of fear that this could be a similar situation. But the Thunder are so bad on the road. They're overvalued every time they play right now. And I just believe in this spot. We didn't get to break this game down because of the breakup. So if we have it a little bit, I will break it down. Suns have gone 3-18 since defeating the Thunder at home. 114-100 January 7th. Then they stopped a 10-game losing streak with their win over Memphis. Booker is playing so well, averaging 31.8 points per game over his last 5 after missing 4 games with that hip injury. Josh Jackson is a beast right now. Career high 29 points against Memphis, 7 boards, 4 assists. Jackson has 10 20-point games in his last 20 games after having 1 in his first 43. TJ Warren will be in the lineup this evening. Tyson Chandler won't. Suns are 9-23 at home after the January 7th loss in Phoenix. They went on an 8-game winning streak. Oh, sorry, the Thunder went on an 8-game winning streak. Won 14 of their last 21. But they're not looking good on the road. Coming off a 111-110 overtime victory over Dallas. Westbrook's still playing well, but he had 9 turnovers last game, and he's slumping terribly from three-point range. He missed all 5 of his attempts last night. He's made only 2 of his last 24 three-pointers. He's making only 28.5% of his three-pointers this year. I like this spot. Kobe's got a score that would work perfectly. 102 Oklahoma City, 99 Phoenix. I am Prometheus says the Suns might just win this straight up. Melee Payless Way says Philly 12-3 against the spread at home versus a team with negative point differential. Wow. Oh, no, sorry, that was Philadelphia. Excuse me. Sorry, I thought it was Phoenix. Sorry, that was Philadelphia. Don't pay any attention to what I just said. Yes, Jalen Jones says Suns plus 7.5. Booker playing well. Omar Magana says Suns been playing better and OKC been barely winning. I am Prometheus says Thunder are my favorite team. For whatever reason, they always let the other team catch up. They play close for no reason. Elio Rodriguez says, Jimmy, I like the Suns to win this game. I have the same hunch. And then AA Sports Trading. Says, no, Jim, no. Don't fade Thunder. Bad play.
Okay. By the way, I'm making a pick here on the Radford-Winthrop game. I am taking Radford second half plus 2.5, and I'll make that one an official pick. I also bet the friggin' Detroit game on the second half money line. That's looking like a great bet right now, but everything was going so crazy that I forgot to fucking say it, and it passed, but I swear I'm not lying. But this is going to be a bet for me. Radford, second half plus 2.5 minus 110. That's an official pick there. Radford second half plus 2.5 minus 110. Basically, they just have to win the game. Winthrop's a good team, but I'm taking Radford there. All right, Jim. So you want to add on? What do you want to add on here? Phoenix.
Yes, I do. Phoenix plus. Magzia talking about the backup goalie for the Predators is in net. Yeah, he's okay. I mean, it's a fine spot. We knew that he was going to play. The Canucks just seem like a team. Now, it's a dangerous spot. I'm not hugely confident in the Preds against Vancouver just because the whole spot sets up Vancouver. But the Predators are just so much better than them. One thing that I think will really help, and I'm not sure if it's been confirmed, but this might be Mike Fisher's season debut, and he'll be great to have in the dressing room. He'll pump everybody up. But yeah, it's not having the Beckham goal isn't the best case scenario. But Max Smart talking about Devin Booker player props over. I think that's a great play, Max.
Okay. So you're going to take Phoenix here, plus 7.5, minus 102 is the best line at Pinnacle, right?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to look at two. Penn State's up by 3 with 11 minutes to go in the first half, but that's certainly interesting. Jim, I'm going to take a look at some more second half plays here from the MAC. Why don't you talk about other stuff in the NBA while I'm looking at these lines here, Jim?
Well, there has to be a couple games we didn't get to, so and I kept them all this morning. So let's get to them. Pacers at Bucks. Bucks have lost 3 straight, coming off that ugly 110-87 loss at Detroit when they got destroyed on the boards and in the paint. The Pacers, to me, aren't a team that can destroy you on the boards and in the paint. If you are someone who believes in this Bucks squad, you can be fine. It's against guys like Drummond, where they're just going to get eaten up alive. Antetokounmpo had his worst statistical month of the season as far as scoring and rebounding. Still averaged 22.6 points, 9.8 boards, 5.3 assists. His numbers have dropped, and it's so easy to understand. Now he has to play point guard on the second unit because Brogdon's out and Dellavedova is out. Dellavedova is close to coming back. As soon as Dellavedova comes back, Antetokounmpo's numbers will rise immediately. It's tough playing the point. You're not going to get the boards. You're not going to get the points. You have to focus on distributing and taking care of the ball. He's second in the league, Antetokounmpo, in free throw attempts this season, averaging 9.4 through his first 45 games. But he's averaged just 6.5 in February because, again, he has to play the point with the second unit. Tony Snell's also day-to-day with a thigh contusion. Bucks are 19-12 at home. Indiana's opened up a 4-game road trip with losses to 2 of the league's worst teams, Dallas and Atlanta. In their 107-102 loss to the Hawks on Wednesday night, they turned the ball over a season-high 24 times. They need Darren Collison back badly. And I know Darren Collison doesn't have these sexy numbers, but man, I like him. I think he's a quality point guard. They've also struggled from 3 on this 2-game trip. Just 16 for 52. Oladipo, it's possible. It's possible Oladipo is hitting the wall. He's battled a couple injuries. He's the most important player on his team. He's gone 1 for 12 from 3. They've met twice this year, with each team winning on their home floor. Bucks won their first meeting 122-101. Pacers won the second 109-96. Jalen Jones says Bucks Pacers under 212 best bet. Very, very interesting. Might be a great spot. Let's see. Gin Rummy was on the Coyotes yesterday. He was Gin Rummy, a great capper. Let's see. Jose Ing says Pacers for me. Bucks inconsistent. Goose's Loose says Bucks all day. If you believe in this Bucks team, man, I'm telling you, this is a spot where they'll be fine. Because I do not think that Sabonis and the Pacers bigs can dominate a game like this.
Ohio State tied it up with 10 minutes to go. Yes, yes, yes. I love it when you freak out over every 30-second change in the score, right?
It's very
fun as hell to do that, right?
Yes, man.
They were down by 3 like a minute ago, but and now they're up by 3. Yes, yes. Ohio State, yes, up by 3 with 10 minutes to go. I got a -2 first half. All right. Okay. Let's get back to what else we want to. Should we wrap this shit up? Jimmy the bag. No plays for me on the MAC.
Kobe asking. Sorry to interrupt. Kobe asking if the Greek Freak is playing tonight. Yes, I believe the eye injury that he's fine. At least that's from all the information I read, that he said the eye injury is fine. He's good to go. SM says stay away from Sabres. Florida rolls. Such an interesting game. I agree with you, SM, but I'm not really fading the Sabres because I think what's happening in New York, something that Pete talked about that was going to happen around the trade deadline, that these teams that are bringing up guys from the AHL are going to start having a better vibe in the dressing room. I believe that's happening in Buffalo, but my God, are Florida finally playing like the team I thought they were going to be all season long? So it's not a fade of Buffalo as much as a bet on Florida.
Okay, I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to wrap this shit up? You want to go back to college basketball? It is a Friday. I don't think we have to wrap it up this exact minute, right, Larry?
You don't have to,
Oh.
I think Kobe Valentine was the one who was asking about MMA.
Oh yes!
yeah.
Oh shit! I totally forgot about that. All right, let's get to MMA. Yes, Larry's letting us go today because the man sent down the message saying yes, they can go. Larry does what the man tells him to because the man pays Larry, just like us, right, Jim? Right, Jim? We do what the man tells us. Yes. All right.
He pays us.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
All right. So let's go.
Yeah.
UFC 222. Yes, I'm happy now because oh no, Penn State just tied it up. Fuck. Okay, 9 minutes to go. 15-15. Penn State just tied it up. All right, UFC 222. This is definitely an interesting card. Let me just do a quick save of comments here because I have not done a save of comments recently. Let me just, all right, UFC 222. This is kind of a wacky main card. Of course, the main event, of course, has Chris Cyborg, massive favorite, minus 1,500. There is a debate in MMA whether any MMA fight should ever be minus 1,500, no matter who it's up against. And you could make a pretty decent argument that that no MMA fight should ever be that big of it should have that big of a favorite. I don't know. I previewed this one with Andreas Hale. Andreas Hale did like the under because obviously if you think that Cyborg is just going to dominate here, then she's probably going to get, you know, a first round knockout like she always does. And if that's the case, then the under probably hits and you're not laying minus 1,500 on that. You're laying just minus 140. So Andreas Hale made that one an official pick. Cyborg on the under, minus 140. And a lot of times with fights like these where there's one fighter that's just so dominant, it's usually because the fight's going to turn out a certain way and there can be better betting value betting on that way, on the fight to go that way, than just to bet on that fighter to get a win. And that is the case here. Cyborg gets a first round knockout, the under will cash easily and you'll win it. And if it you know, if the fight goes over 1.5 rounds, I'm not sure you'll be happy sitting with a bet on Chris Cyborg at minus 1,500. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Yeah.
I mean, if Cyborg doesn't get a quick early knockout, you know, she beat Holly Holm by decision in her last fight, but she didn't get a knockout there. Now, obviously, Holly Holm's a totally different animal than Kunitsaya, but, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So Andreas Hale, I think that was the right way to go here. If you expect Cyborg to just dominate as the market is expecting, just take the under instead of, you know, even Cyborg inside the distance is minus 515. So, you know, that was Andreas Hale's pick. I begged off that one. Then the Frankie Edgar-Brian Ortega fight, very, very wacky fight. You know, it's kind of like a no-win situation for Frankie Edgar. He was in line for a title fight. If he wins this one, he's still in line. If he loses, what happens then? I don't know. But Brian Ortega, you know, is definitely the worst fighter here, but a talented fucking fighter. You know what I'm saying? Frankie Edgar could lose this one. I'm passing on this one. Andreas Hale said that he thinks that Edgar at minus 155 is worth a shot, and he did give Edgar at minus 155. I was going to take a shot with the fight going the distance, but it was minus 225, so it just got too high, and there could be a finish here. But what people are saying funny shit? People are saying funny shit? What happened? What the hell happened?
Yeah. Twatty says that you yelled Joe Rogan's name during sex.
Yeah, Joe Rogan. Oh, yeah. Wow. Very nice.
Drew Martin's joined us.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. And anyone in here think they could take Cyborg in the cage? All right, we're doing serious anime handicapping right now. Yeah, the Frankie Edgar fight. Listen, I thought that going the distance might be a good bet, but not at minus 225. There could be a finish here, and you know, Andreas Hale likes Edgar at minus 155. I can't disagree with that, but it definitely makes me nervous. Edgar, obviously, you know, great fighter. 36 years old. I asked Andreas Hale, do you think this is a fight where we start to see Edgar maybe getting a little bit old? Andreas Hale said no. I think we'll see that in the next fight if he fights Holloway in his next fight. And he says that's when we'll know. He's not worried about that here. I'm staying off it. I'm not going to bet it. O'Malley against Sukmantat. That's a pass for me and Andreas Hale. Both these guys are really good. Probably you could make a strong argument that Sukmantat should be a good bet here at minus 220 because you know, O'Malley is still just 23 and still developing, and you know, so I could see the argument for a bet on Sukmantat, but I'm not going to take it. I could see that argument though. My only play on the official play on the card was the over 1.5 rounds at minus 120 in Stefan Struve against Arlovsky. If this one had been like minus 170 or 180, I wouldn't have taken it. But you know, Arlovsky, he knows he's vulnerable. He's probably going to be cautious, even though he knows that rushing straight at Struve is his best way to get a win. Struve, you know, knows that he's probably doesn't want to get caught. So I think he's going to be a little bit cautious. And I think the over 1.5 rounds at minus 120 is a decent play. That's my only play on the main card. Over 1.5 rounds at minus 120 in Struve against Arlovsky. And then the Kat Zingano fight, probably the most interesting fight from a handicapping perspective on the main card against Vieira. Zingano, of course, hasn't won since like 2014 or something like that. But Andreas Hale analyzed this fight similarly to how he analyzed the Lyoto Machida fight. In the Lyoto Machida fight, of course, there were a lot of reasons to think that Lyoto Machida was just done. Andreas Hale said that no, he was getting disrespected there and had value as an underdog, and that's how Andreas Hale sees this fight as well. He thinks that Zingano is a talented veteran who still has something left. getting totally disrespected as an underdog. Admittedly, Vieira has been impressive. She beat Sarah McMahon, which is nice, but Andreas Hale thinks this is just a big overreaction to some of Vieira's admittedly nice performances recently and to Zingano having been off for such a long time. And Andreas Hale thinks Zingano has value at plus 165. He made that one an official pick. I'm feeling like, I don't know, man. Vieira's just looking pretty impressive to me, so I don't really want to bet against her. But Andreas Hale has no problem doing that at plus 165. He was dead on with Lyoto Machida in a similar spot, and he took Zingano at plus 165. So once again, just one play for me, over 1.5 rounds in the Struve-Arlovsky fight. Andreas Hale, value with Zingano at plus 165, value with Edgar at minus 155, and value with the under 1.5 rounds at minus 140. Those are all Andreas Hale's picks. My pick, just one, Struve and Arlovsky going over. All right. How's that for a rundown, Jim?
That was great.
Nice.
I loved it.
Yes.
Michael Sinkowitz joining us from Poland. Magzia joining us from Norway.
Oh, very nice. Oh, really? From Norway?
Yeah.
Magzia, hook me up with citizenship, baby. Hook me up with citizenship, please, if you can. Magzia, I'll be your personal servant when I get there, for my whole life there. All right, let's
Alan
see.
Action says that's a solid pick. Pete with the over 1.5.
Oh, there you go. Dan Kelly says Memphis team total under 103.5. That's sort of apropos of nothing, but yes, that maybe he just ran his spreadsheet and found that as a value play. But we gave that one already. Jimmy and I are both on Memphis team total under. All right. Elio Rodriguez says I'm not on any of that. Okay, tell us what you are on, Elio Rodriguez. Let's see. Here you go. Maxwell Smart. Usually a guy who just keeps it all about handicapping, right? Yeah. But here he goes. A love comment from Maxwell Smart. All in caps, I fucking love this show as much as money and kush. There you go. There you motherfucking go. You know, this is not easy as hell. It's not fucking easy to get comments like that.
I love Max. We're going to hang in Toronto in a couple weeks.
Oh, really? Very nice.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet these guys.
Very nice.
I can't wait to run with Max.
Very nice. All right. So, here you go. Long balls. Larry 78 says Ortega is master jiu-jitsu. Will catch Frankie. Ortega by submission, worth a few units. You might be right there. I don't want to bet against Ortega. Ortega's a guy who, came up from hardship. He's undefeated. He's young. He's hungry. He's got good discipline, I think. I would not want to be betting against Ortega here, although, I'm not going to bet against Frankie Edgar either, because it is true. The only guy he's ever lost to is Jose Aldo, and he's still Frankie Edgar. So that's just a pass for me. If the line was a little bit better, I would have taken the fight going the distance at like minus 180 or something like that. But at 225, I just can't do it. Elio Rodriguez says, I like Andre to knock out. Okay. There could be a knockout in the second half of the fight, and then I'll still cash my my over 1.5 on that one. The only reason I took the over on that one is because it's just 1.5, not 2.5 rounds, and it's just minus 120. As I told Andreas, if it was up in the minus 160s or minus 180s, I wouldn't take it. But at just minus 120, I will do that. Let's see.
Bill Buttlicker, he's butthurt. He says you're not paying attention to his picks.
Where? What? Really?
Yeah. So
I'll
take a look.
That's because I was giving my spiel. I wasn't reading comments while I was doing it.
Bill Butler.
Where are they?
Says Pete takes CB Dollaway at even money before he turns into a favorite.
Okay, that's nice. That's not on the main card. I only looked at the main card, but very, very nice.
Bill Butler says Rousey snatched Ngannou's soul.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Triple Beams thought I was braiding a necklace while you were doing your UFC talk.
Very nice. Yeah, Bill Buttlicker. I only focus on the main cards on these with Andreas Hale. So the undercards, I just don't have time. I would love to cap the prelims and everything, but just don't have time. Let's see. Yep. Triple Beam says, I'm not betting it either. Frankie Edgar has 22 bodies and never ducked anyone. Yeah, and this is ballsy. You know what I'm saying? This is a no win. He's on the cusp of getting a title shot. The champ pulls out. He could easily say, no, I'm not taking this fight against Ortega, and no one would really give him any shit for it, but he's taking it anyway. That is a fucking guy who's just not afraid of anything, Jim. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but Bill Butler's a guy who's afraid of a ton. And
I just can't.
He says, I'm going to drink and cry myself to sleep because Pete hates me.
Are you kidding? I love Bill Butlicker. He's one of my, whenever I'm using an example of poster names, of commenter names in a comedic way, Bill Butlicker is one of my go-to commenter names, right, Jim? Absolutely,
yeah,
along with Twatty and the Dick Donnies.
He still loves you.
Here we go, Kobe Valentine. This line is disrespect to Ortega, someone who's never lost and is the better finisher. If you haven't been impressed with Ortega's run in the UFC, I'm not sure what you're watching. Absolutely, I mean, I'm just not prepared yet to bet against Frankie Edgar. But I agree with you. I'm very impressed with Ortega in general, and That's why I'm not betting on Edgar.
St. Peter's is up 7-1.
St. Peter's is up. Oh, very nice.
Fuck
Very
yeah.
nice.
Fuck yeah.
Very nice.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Kobe Valentine, if I was going to bet this fight, I would be betting it to go the distance, but not at minus 225. Epic movie scenes. Can we review all of our picks? No, we can't review all. We've made a million fucking picks in all sports here. No, wait. It's not that I hate you. We can't do it. JD the third Frankie knows he can outstrike Ortega. Wow. All right. Yeah, this will be interesting. Parlay Poppy 1 says parlay over in Ortega and over Struve for value. You might be right there. You know, the over in the Ortega fight is just getting bet up. It was minus 250 last time I checked, getting bet up all week long. So the market definitely expecting an over and the fight going to decision. Let's see. Anything else we got here?
No, I'm just gonna sit back
Right.
and watch the fucking money start rolling in.
All right, I
baby.
guess let's wrap it up then. What a week, Jimmy the Bag. What a week. We had college championships starting. We had a live bona fide whore posting yesterday who did not come back today. All right,
No.
interesting. So that prop did not come back today. We should have made a prop to see if that would
should
come
have
in.
made a bet for that.
And we'll be back on Monday at 12 o'clock Eastern time with yet more conference championships. The major conferences are going to have their tournaments starting next week. That's going to be awesome. And we'll be back on Monday, 12 o'clock Eastern time.